Welcome back. Now, former EastEnder Elaine Lordan has just come through a really horrendous few years. Her nightmare began with a drink problem and a secret affair on the set of EastEnders, which led to being sacked from the soap that she loved.
Well, things were to go from bad to worse when a year later, in 2005, her mother committed suicide, and then later that year she tragically lost her son James just 2 days after his first birthday. At the start of this year, Elaine's heart was broken again when she suffered a miscarriage.
Despite all that's happened, Elaine says that she has managed to turn her life around as she's looking to the future, and she's here now to tell us how she's learning to live with it. And in fact, you've written the book, Whatever It Takes, a story of family survival. It's a tough story to have to sit down and concentrate on because it brings back an awful lot of bad memories.
Well, yeah, but it was quite cathartic as well. Can I apologise for my voice, by the way? I was at the football game on Sunday, so Arsenal fan. Yeah, but it was. I've been offered a lot of money from the press to talk about it, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be in control of it, so that's why I wrote the book.
And also the press, who hounded you through the worst points in your life, writing stories about you that weren't necessarily true.
Yes.
And always labelling you tragic.
Yes, tragic Lordan, which I'm not. I'm not tragic. Tragic things have definitely happened to me, but I'm a survivor.
You are a survivor.
And, you know, all this rubbish they write about friends being on a 24-hour suicide watch, not true, you know, silly.
Yeah. Well, you know, you as a very young actress, you found your big breakthrough in Tucker's Luck with Todd Carty, aerobics teacher for a long time.
Yes.
And then, great, big breakthrough, EastEnders in 2000, playing Lynn Slater, sister in this new family, and think, wow, this is going to be great. But unfortunately, it was the start of horrors. The first thing was that you found love on the set.
I did.
Somebody who was unfortunately not free.
Yep. And I wasn't at the time either, but we're very happy now together.
Yeah. But so you have to go through the minefield of a difficult relationship, not wanting to hurt other people, but naturally you're going to hurt other people.
Absolutely.
Trying to keep it secret. Press find out about it.
Yep.
Bingo.
Yep.
You're suddenly the newspaper's favourite.
Sex scandal. The front page. You know.
Well, you said then that at that time you'd been keeping it so secret that cast members, you'd sort of pull them away from your dressing room and stuff to sort of hide them.
Yeah.
June Brown nearly discovered.
Well, yeah, because June Brown can really talk a lot, and Pete was in the dressing room, so I thought he couldn't get out, and he had to get back on set. So I come out of the dressing room and said, "Oh, June, I need to talk to you," and dragged her around the corridor and talked a load of rubbish to her.
And the issue that got it out into the in the public arena was unfortunate in itself, wasn't it? The fact that there'd been a car accident, and then he'd said, "Come and pick me up," but you'd had a drink.
Drinking, got done for drink driving and spiraled down then.
Yes, and was that the moment where things began to get unpicked for
I think
you?
so, yeah.
How bad did the drinking get when you were working?
Pretty bad at the time, but I'm in control of it now. You know, I drink socially now, and that's it.
Yeah, and at that time it was sort of vodka bottles in the dressing room and taking them home so that nobody saw the empties. Yeah.
Classy.
And it was affecting, unfortunately, your work on EastEnders. And there was one meeting where you were a bit sloshed and said things you shouldn't have said.
Yep, and that was the end.
Yeah, called into the producer's office.
Yep.
And how did the conversation go?
Just, you know, that they were letting me go.
Did you fight against it?
No.
You just thought, OK, fair enough, I've had enough anyway.
Well, not really, I just thought it was fair enough, you know, and...
But it does, that pressure really begins to sit on top of you.
Yeah, and also the press, you know, the press really, really have hounded me, I feel. You know, I think it's fair enough to be packed when you're going to a West End show or coming out for a West End club, but when you're walking out of your door in some scrappy old tracksuit bottoms to get a pint of milk and they're jumping out at you, it's...
There are people who say that is the fame tax. This is what comes. You've got a successful job. You're well paid. We're not digging ditches. You know, it's that sort of thing. But that's the price that you pay.
I don't think it's right that paparazzi press turn up at my mother's funeral, for example, which they did. I don't think that's fair at all. And I don't sort of, you know, I don't go out to West End clubs trying to get photographs. So I don't understand why they keep hounding me.
And you're not falling out of cabs anymore,
No, absolutely not. And there was only one picture with my leg up, which was used and used and used. But, you know, they knocked on my door 2 days after my mum died looking for an interview, 2 days after my baby died looking for an interview. Like, you're in any state of mind to do that, you know, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a tough one to have to live with, for sure. But going back to a slightly happier moment, after you were sacked from EastEnders, you then find you're pregnant.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So there you both are thinking, right, now we've got a family on the way, life's going to settle down, and it's great. And at an early scan, they said to you, oh, this little baby, there's something not quite right.
Yeah, there was a blood test that indicated spina bifida, which it turned out not to be, but, excuse me, they did a very detailed scan to discover that, and they found a white patch on his lung, which they diagnosed as a CCAM. And then later on it changed into a diaphragmatic hernia, which is more serious.
Which means the bowel is
grew
growing
up through his stomach. Through up into his bowel, yeah.
Which is all a very difficult thing. So when he was born, premature, 5 weeks premature, he immediately had to have an operation within the first 4 days,
after.
2 days. And then 6 months in hospital.
Yeah, yep.
And you weren't able to go and hold him and...
not till Christmas Eve, so about 2 weeks after he was born was the first time we held him.
So how did you handle those first 6 months in hospital?
You just have to handle it. You've got no choice. And there was other mothers in the intensive care unit with their babies that were there for as long as James was. And, you know, you get to know them and you support each other. When you have a bad day, they'll be there for you, and, you know, vice versa.
The timing of the tragedy that then ensued is in the worst possible nightmare script. You'd say that, no, that's too unbelievable.
Yeah.
So James is just beginning to improve.
Yeah.
And then you find out that you hear that the tube line has been held up because there's been a terrible accident, a body under the train.
Yeah.
And then the body is identified, and you realise that it's dressed in the clothes that you bought.
My mum was wearing. No, my sister had bought.
And so the things that you recognise, you suddenly realise, my God, that's my mother.
Yeah, yeah.
And do you think that you said that she'd always been depressed?
Not always been depressed, just in the last few years.
Right. And had the birth of James, because she'd had to give away a baby when she was very
adoption,
young.
Unmarried mother.
And do you think the birth of James had maybe triggered
I think
that?
so, yeah. I think so, yeah. I think depression is a terrible thing, and I think everybody knows it is the Cinderella of medicine, you know, and it's not talked about. I mean, I think things are getting better in that way, but, you know, and it's difficult, you know, when your mum's taking an overdose or something, you don't want people to know because, you know...
So she had tried that before?
She had tried, yeah, unfortunately.
So when she was 16, she had to give up this little boy, and she never had any more contact with him?
No.
And then seeing you coping with a little boy you might lose,
yeah.
I think it just
I think it sort of triggered,
over.
yeah, I think so.
She never talked about how she was feeling?
No, and she was... And the reason I've been able to cope so well with, you know, both the deaths is because I've got so many happy memories. My mum was, I think, the best mum in the world, and I've got so many happy memories of her. And the same with James, you know. I mean, even though he was just a year old, he had his own definite little personality.
Yes. You have the wonderful joy of getting married, and then just 2 days later, that joy, that one moment you could have been given that bit of joy in your life, and then he's snatched away from you. You put him to bed, he has a bit of a sniffle, and then...
Checked half an hour later and he wasn't
and he's
breathing.
gone.
Yeah.
So how do you move on? How do you...
Like I just said, I think it's just, you have to hold on to the good memories, and it's difficult with suicide because there's a lot of anger inside you as well, like, why did you do that? Why did you leave me? But then you kind of think, well, how tormented must she have been?
Yes.
You know, and like I say, so many happy memories of both of them.
We mentioned the miscarriage as well, you know, at the beginning of the year.
That's... and I don't wish to, you know, disrespect anybody who's had a miscarriage and really finding it difficult, but it was very early days, and Pete and I are very philosophical about it, and our sort of take on it is that there's something that wasn't right, and it's nature's way of saying that. That's how we sort of view it. But anybody who's 6 months and had a miscarriage, or, you know, has found it difficult to get pregnant and has a miscarriage, that's far more painful.
Yes. Well, we wish you and Pete all the happiness in the world.
We have it.
You have it now.
Yes.
And you're feeling how good in yourself now?
Very, very good. Bit nervous here, but apart from that...
Nervous, of course you're nervous. You don't want to tell everybody everything that's happened to you, but the papers did a lot of it for you in the first place.
You know, that's why I thought I'd control it.
Well done. Whatever It Takes by Elaine Lordan is out now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Elaine.
Right, now, tomorrow we have another Easter